Hi. I just heard. Hold on, I'm going to close my door. So, girlies, you know when you get into those moods where you get hangry and then you become very self-reflective and almost very negative of the things going on in your life. So I was having a period of reflection just about a friendship that I have. I don't know if I'm going to post this because I'm worried that the person who I'm talking about will watch this and then be upset, but also, like, this is the way that I feel. So, what are you going to do? But I have a friend who lives far away. And, for as long as I've known them, we've called each other pretty close friends, and then after a while we called each other, like, I called this person one of my best friends, and they also called me so. And this isn't gonna be a video where I'm ratting or dragging this person. This isn't necessarily what it's about, but it is like, it is I'm kind of having a moment of just reflection where I'm like, what does it really mean to be best friends with somebody? Because this person doesn't really talk to me anymore. We, like, share very short conversations. They occasionally pick up a group call because we're part of kind of a trio, so to speak. You know, there's always those relationships where it's like a trio, and like it almost feels like your relationship with one of the people is dependent on that other relationship that's existing in the group. But I have a very good individual relationship with both of these people. But, you know, when somebody lives far away, it's, you know, there's only so much room there can be for, like, individual friendship. Like, it's not like you can hang out, go to the movies, do shit. Like, it's just not the same. And this is why I say take this with a grain of salt, because I think this is maybe just what happens when friends live far away from each other. But I don't know. So his friend lives far away, and we don't talk very much. And I'm always make a constant effort to call our group chat so that this person can always feel included. Yeah, so this person can be included in our chats, and the door is always open for them, but they very rarely answer. And part of that can be parlayed to time difference, and at other times they might be busy or, like, anything like that. But I'd be lying if it said there wasn't, like, it didn't feel like there was a complete lack of effort on this person's part. And not that this person has to make any effort. It's not really what it is. That's, like, the point of this isn't for me to be longing for this person to return to my life. It's more to acknowledge the fact of how my relationship with this person has changed, I think. Like, would I call this person my best friend anymore? Or one of my best friends anymore? Because I don't even think they would call me that anymore, because I'm not as much of a presence in their life. And I think if I was considered a best friend of theirs, I think they'd make the effort to contact and keep the connection fresh. Let it be known in our little group chat we send each other Instagram reels pretty frequently, but I don't think that's what, like, constitutes that level of friendship. I think that I have very minimal friendships with people where I send them reels relatively frequently. I think in a friendship like that, would I define it by the effort made to make conversation or to talk to this person and keep that connection fresh in that way, like in a meaningful way of actually having a conversation, talking to this person, seeing how they are and thing. But I think dialogue might be a sort of surface level way to define a friendship. So I think probably a more absolute way, not even absolute, just a more not even concrete. It's just like a more deep way to define it, perhaps, is what I'm getting at. It's like, do you feel like is this a person that you feel like I think a close friend or a best friend is a friend who you feel like really understands you and you really understand them. If it's mutual, I think. And I don't know. I don't think this person understands me anymore, and I don't think I understand them as much. I don't know them as well anymore. And maybe that's part of growing apart in a relationship. And this isn't to say that I don't care about rebuilding that friendship with this person, but it is, it's just been a very gradual thing of me realizing over time that when somebody does make, unfortunately, no real effort to maintain your friendship, it is interesting to see how that friendship develops. And I think I spent a lot of time forcing that relationship to stay in the state that it is. But I think this is just the kind of friend where we will matter to each other a lot when we see each other. I will love them very much, and they will love me very much when we are in front of each other's faces. But when we disappear to different parts of the world, I'd be lying if it felt like I ceased to exist to this person. At least it felt that way at times. It feels that way at times. And I think I feel that way, and I think that can sometimes, or at least it used to bother me a lot more, because I think it's always feels shameful, embarrassing to care for someone more than they care for you. Because it almost feels foolish, and people don't like feeling foolish. People don't like to be made the fool. And girl, I've been the fool. I have a residency as the fool. But I think that to only matter to somebody when you are in front of them, or to only care to talk or to show your love for somebody when they're in front of you, is not the sign of someone who is your best friend. I think that is the sign of someone who is a friend. I think that is a connection for sure. But I don't think that's a best friend. And listen, I'm hungry and very negative right now, so maybe this is, I don't think there's a definitive idea of what a best friend is, but I can go by my definition of what I see in my best friends, and all of the people I consider my best friends always consistently make an effort to talk to me. We consistently make plans with each other. Making plans is hard when you live in different parts of the world, though, so we can even, call that a half finger. A best friend is someone you feel like understands you, and someone you feel like you understand them, which is what I was saying earlier. I think a best friend to me is someone who I can feel safe around and not worry about feeling judged for being the way that I am, which can be very positive and nice and very negative and shitty at other times. But yeah, I've spent a long time, I think, trying with this particular relationship to almost validate that I mean more to this person, because I don't think I was at a time ready to face the fact that I might mean less to this person than they meant to me some time ago. But now that I've had some time away from this person, because context, I was in love with this person at one point. I wouldn't go as far to say that my relationship with them, I'm growing apart from them, because this is almost how our relationship has always been. In a certain sense, it's just at one point I lived closer to them, so we were able to hang out in person. But this idea that, it felt like I was either in front of them, and then once I left, I was in front of them and we were great and everything was great, and then when I wasn't in front of them, it didn't feel like I mattered as much. I don't think you should. I don't think you should have to worry about whether or not you matter in any relationship. But I think it was complicated by the fact that I was in love with this person. You want to feel like you matter to the person that you're in love with, right? But I think if there's a question of do I matter to this person when I'm not in front of them, then that is probably the sign that you might not be as close as you think you are. Or as you would like to be, maybe. Or you're just not even that, it's just you're not close, period. This is one of those friends that does say that give you that, like, thing of, like, I have enough trust in our relationship that, I have enough trust in our relationship that I feel like I can go long times without talking to you and everything still be fine. I do see that. That is not, like, a unvalid way of thinking about a relationship with certain people, but is that good enough for me? For me, personally? I'm not sure. But this is both a liberating and a sad feeling. It's sad because it's not nice, or it can be a reflection of time past to realize that maybe you've grown apart from a person. Or just like, almost even a sense of, not saying well-placed, but placed embarrassment for the fact that you maybe never meant what you wanted to mean to this person, or the relationship was never what you maybe wanted it to be. And I'm not talking about that like them loving me back. It's just like the relationship was, you invested time into, building a relationship with somebody, and maybe it was never gonna be the friendship that you wanted it to be, because this person just doesn't think of it that way. And that's fair, but that is also a sign that people are maybe categorically different people. I don't know, man. But it's also liberating in a sense, because I have come a long way with this friendship, and realizing maybe not that I deserve more, but I'm allowed to have standards for the type of people I want to keep around in my life. And that's not to say that this person is a bad person for not being able to meet those standards. But it is, it does not make this person bad. And I still love this person a lot. A lot. But it is nice for me to go from a point where I was so infatuated with this person, and now to, being able to have a frank discussion about the fact that I'm, moving on from that person. And I'm more than happy to have a friendship with this person. I love this person very much. They are a lot of fun. They're a good person, and I love hanging out with them, and they still have all the qualities that I remember about them that made me want to be their friend. But, and I would love to continue this friendship with them if this person was willing to meet me halfway and make the effort to, I don't know, keep it alive, to check in just every so often, to have an interest in the lives of his friends. And not that this person needs to do that, but, that is, if I'm going to invest my energy into somebody, and friendship is an investment, at least to some degree, then it's not really fair for it to be one-sided. At least not through my eyes. I don't even know if I'm going to upload this video, because I don't want this person to watch this video and be upset. And then have them text me and be like, why did you never, tell me this? But at what point does it become an asinine concept to explain to somebody how to be a better friend to you? not a better friend, but just to be the kind of friend that you would like them to be. Because if that's just not who they are, that's just not who they are. But, yeah, I don't know if I'll upload this because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And if you are the person watching this, it's not like that. It's not a thing of like, I'm upset with you or if I'm mad at you or anything like that. But I am just reflecting on our friendship as it stands. But I still love you very much. I'd be lying if I said we weren't as close as it's a kind of a fact that just we're not as close as we used to be. And that, that makes me sad in some ways, but you're living your life where you are and I'm living my life where I am. And I'm always happy to chat with you wherever that is, but I'm always happy to chat with you wherever that is or thing. I love you very much, but it is like, it's just like different now. Our friendship is different now. And that's what happens. And that's a fact of life. But it doesn't need to be sad. But of course it is like in some way sad. But that it doesn't have to be permanent if we want to continue having a relationship in a closer capacity. But it's just, it doesn't feel like our friendship matches that right now. But yeah. Anyway. That was a good reflection though. This felt good.